Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello everyone. The next topic we are going to cover is on innovation in services. What we have found is that service sector has gained immense predominance in terms of its contribution to the GDP. For instance, in terms of the developed economies, it is found that around 70% of the GDP is contributed through service sector. With this growth in the service sector, clearly innovation in this sector has gained once again importance not only amongst the policymakers but also amongst the firms. So what is going on is basically in consumers who are now increasing their spending on the use of these services, which is increasing the revenue of the firms, and new service innovations are resulting in also creating a very good image of the firms, and they're maybe creating referrals from them and adding on to their revenue. So if you think from a firm point of view, not only service organization but product-based corporations are also generating services. Here you can think of most of the product which we are using nowadays does entail one or the another type of service. So clearly along with the product, service are now being combined, and as a result product-based corporations are also focusing on these innovations. Data from India also reflects on the same case. For instance, at the time of independence, what we found, India was essentially an agrarian economy with a large share coming from the agriculture sector. However, in the last decade, more than 40% or almost 50% of the share in the GDP is coming from the service sector, as you can see from this blue. Understand the innovation in the service sector, we also need to define it first. For instance, in case of India, what we find when particularly from the point of view of collecting the data related to national accounts, in a service sector includes trade, hotels, restaurants. So essentially the area where the communication with the consumer is very predominant. Transportation, storage, communication, finance, insurance, real estate, business services, community, social and personal services, and services associated with construction sector. Having understood that what entails in the service sector, one thing is very clear, that it is very vast. So there, when we are talking about innovation in sector, what is it that we are talking about? Before we go into it, we also have to understand a close association that is there with respect to the delivery of the services and that of the customer. So clearly the first objective from the point of view of innovation in services would be the expectations of the customer that need to be understood, and in order to remain relevant in the current competition, you'll find that firms would be innovating in their kind of services that they are providing. The idea there will be to provide value for the customer, which will help them in fulfilling the demands for them and also establishing loyalty over a period of time. Clearly, if you look at all these points, meeting customer expectation, differentiation in competitive advantage, driving business growth, efficiency and cost saving, anticipating future needs, clearly there is a linkage between the way we have understood the need for innovation from a company's point of view. But as I said earlier, there are differences, and as we will go along, we will learn more about them. So in case of a differentiation and competitive advantage, clearly there are rivals available in the particular market. Clearly there are rivals who are competing with the one firm, and in order to take advantage over them, one firm has to then clearly innovate. Moreover, if you are looking for a sustained growth over a period of time, clearly you need to maybe enlarge your market, reach out to new consumer, and that will drive the business growth. The next objective for importance of innovation in services would be to attain efficiency and have cost saving. That will help the firm to improve their profitability and allocate resources effectively. Moreover, the future requirements also need to be addressed through the innovative behavior of the firm that will help them to mitigate the risk that will be posed in the future. Now, what do we mean by the innovation in the service sector. Now, the innovation in service sector can be related to a new organizational architecture. For example, when Dell started with this idea of bringing in the components of a computer, having a customer care, in different countries, and the idea is to source the component of the computer from different parts and then put it together as per the requirement of the particular customer. So that it is a new form of an organizational structure that they are looking at. If you are looking at a new service delivery system, we have seen a lot of innovation in this particular sector, particularly with a lot of aggregators coming into picture, cloud kitchens, etc., coming up with a new marketing proposition, improving in the management as such. So the idea there is that the service sector, which is providing the services to the consumer, there can be either a new, there we will learn later that there could be either a new product which is being introduced or a process. However, the innovation can be associated with like an organizational architecture, service delivery system, marketing, and improving in the management. So therefore, it might include an incremental improvement or it could be a disruptive one. So the way Ola or Uber and other aggregators enter into the transportation and the taxi availability, clearly that's a very disruptive change in the service offering and the delivery process itself. So then you look at the service innovation, again, it might be also undertaken by different industries. It is not that you will find that the only service providers are undertaking the service innovation. It can be related to your healthcare sector, finance, retail, and so on. So then we are talking of a service innovation. It could be, again, like we earlier understood, could be in the nature of a product or it could be in the nature of the process. Product, clearly introduction of the new product. Think from a point of view of an information technology company which might come up with a new ERP system or another way through which the HR or maybe finances are organized within a particular firm, or they might improve the existing process, the incremental innovation that may happen. So instead of the ones they already have an ERP system which is designed for most of the firms, and now suppose they get a order from an academic institutions and they have to now kind of configure it to the requirement of this organization. So there the innovation can be more incremental in nature, having the basic products with them. Then the new process of making and delivery goods and services, that will be a part of your process innovation. There also you will see, like I said earlier, there has been a considerable innovations in the last 10 or 12 years where you see that new methods of delivery of goods and services have come into picture with the introduction of e-commerce and other such information communication technologies. Important part which is we have to understand when we are thinking from a point of view of innovation in a service sector is that the sector itself is extremely diverse. So on one hand, you will have the services like hairdressing, plumbing, electric repair, which are much more smaller in scale, and also the skill which may be required for them may also be very limited. On the other hand, you may have services including health, education, fire, insurance. On the other hand, you may have highly skilled requirements for sectors like finance, insurance, health, and education. So when you think of this entire spectrum of the skill that is required in the service sector, what you realize is that the diversity and heterogeneity is very, very important to be understood when we are thinking of the sector and particularly about the innovation in that particular sector as such. So these are some terms which are used. For example, fire is for finance, insurance, and real estate. Horisa is for hotels, restaurant, catering, etc. So then what happens? So you have hotels who are also catering to customers. You have banks who also are having the customers. But are the customers same? Clearly the service providers are very, very different. So when you will think about the innovation, that is also going to be very different. Then within the business services, you will have IT companies which are now helping the other firms to maybe digitize their own processes, creating new products for them which will help them in that digitization. Then there can be a legal sector. When you think from a point of view of a health health and education, the requirement of the customers in these two sectors are once again very different. The service provider are also very different. The skill which are now they are going to are also very different. So the market, the services market is extremely diverse, requiring very different level of the skill, and hierarchies in the skill requirement are also very much. So what is the implication of this diversity? What is the result or the outcome of this diversity? One very major outcome of this diversity is that it makes the generalizations very difficult. So as a result, if we want to understand an innovation model, let us say, for the service sector, it will become difficult because you realize the diversity which is engaged within the service sector. And moreover, it also becomes sometimes difficult in identifying the source and outcome of the innovation. So for instance, in case of manufacturing, what was happening, we were able to identify the variables on the left hand side and the right hand side. That means we are able to identify the inputs and the final outputs, maybe the expenditure spent on research and development, personnel engaged in research and development. So there was a source through which innovations can be generated, new product and process can be thought about, brainstormed about, etc. And there is a clear-cut outcome also. But in the service sector, given the diversity, it becomes very difficult to identify the source and outcome. And hence, it becomes difficult to come up with a generalized theory or a generalized, maybe a framework or a model through which the innovation will be, going on in the service sector. So what are the important characteristics of the service innovation which create concerns with respect to generalization and also going away from the way the things are done in the manufacturing sector? The first one foremost is intangibility. So when you are giving a service in a hotel or maybe even as a customer care or you are on a call center, so clearly the service provided is very intangible. Right? It is not like it is something which is in a hand and you can feel it, you can understand the technology involved in it. That means there is going to be a limited use of the intellectual property right, particularly that of the patent protection, right? And in this case, the evaluation also happens in the actual market rather than in the R&D lab. Suppose you come up with a new vaccine, and so there will be clinical trials, the results will be computed, and accordingly analysis would be made whether this vaccine is going to be effective or not. However, in case of a service sector, the actual response of the customer will tell you whether the innovation is now being well received or accepted. A limited role of patent protection will also play a very limited role here. Then there is clearly a heterogeneity. The innovative activities which we are looking at, they have to be personalized. As we have already seen, first of all, there is a lot of diversity within what we are calling as cyber services. Now, even if suppose let us stick to a hotel or a restaurant business, even there you will realize that there are going to be again diversity starting from a 5-star, 7-star hotels to a the food maybe the food providers in a very small dhaba for that matter, right? That means the innovative activities again will become very personalized in the different service context, and that once again create an issue with respect to how we will compare innovation in the manufacturing sector vis-a-vis that in the service sector. Then what about the perishability? Clearly, once the service is provided, it is perishable, right? So that means if a waiter is catering to a particular customer, the moment the customer walks out, it is completed, right? So as a result, what would be the demand? What would be the plan in order to understand the capacity required will also be very different. Most importantly, which I also highlighted earlier, that in case of service sector, one very important concern is with respect to the interaction between the customer and the service supplier, which means that the innovation then again many a times will have to be something which once again has to be delivered by the supplier directly to the customer. So in those cases, the response, the reaction will definitely is not going to be very in those cases also the reaction of the customer is going to be a way to understand what is the final outcome of the innovation, not something which could be put it on record or maybe calculated through the case. In fact, the identification of these characteristics also helps us in understanding in which direction innovation can take place in the service sector. So when we talk about intangibility, is it possible that a firm can increase the tangibility of the product, and then the innovation can be more understandable. So think from a point of view of banking, where earlier you were just going to a bank branch and getting an account open, but by having the maybe the credit cards, checkbooks, ATMs, etc., what we have done, we have increased the tangibility of the services. Now one can very easily see that how many times a checkbook has been used, a particular person has used the ATM. That now gives us a number with respect to the services which has been taken by an individual customer. Right? So the innovation in this case can be in direction whereby the tangibility of the services can be increased. Now one can also address the inseparability. For example, in a health and education sector, particularly we have seen that the interaction between the supplier and the customer is the person who is teaching or the person who is learning is very important. But if we can address that, maybe having live sessions or having an open education systems, using surgery, using robots to do the surgery, or having maybe a video contact with an expert who may be located in another country, and in order to do that particular surgery. So here we are addressing inseparability, which we earlier understood that the customer and the supplier has to be very much together. If we address that, once again the innovation is coming into picture. If we can address the temporality, what do we mean here? Now, if you understand, then once a particular call has happened, we said that once an interaction between a waiter and maybe the customer is over, this particular service has been provided. Here, is it possible to address that? So, say for example, in a call center where you will have the recorded messages itself, right? And you would have and if you can deal with the demand spots, maybe having high tariff, reserve backups, etc. So that temporality can be addressed. So what we are trying to understand is the specific characteristics which was distinguishing the service provided from that of the manufacturing, and trying to understand if the innovation can be created in order to address that and bring it a bit more closer to the way innovation is done in the manufacturing state. Most importantly, addressing heterogeneity. Here we have seen a lot more innovation that has happened over a period of a time. For example, if you look at a McDonald's, so McDonald's is basically providing a service where the food is now being delivered to the individuals. Now what they have done this kind of a standardization of the way the services has been provided, right? So that means they have created a particular system, the people has been skilled differently, processes has been created, routines has been created, and as a result the entire process has become extremely standardized. So in this way, when you talk about the delivery of the various services, if those can be standardized, establishing routines, processes, providing special kind of a skill, introducing quality control mechanism, using an application of information technology, then what will happen is you are addressing the heterogeneity which is there in the making provision of that particular services. If you realize the manufacturing sector, there the emphasis is also flexible specialization and the mass customization, right? So in that sense, once you introduce this kind of a standardization, industrialization of services like in McDonald's, you are moving towards the way the innovation is being seen in the manufacturing sector. But if you see all these points, they also highlight how the service innovation has happened in the last 3 to 4 decades as such.